Transgenic animals or plants can be formed by manipulation of the DNA and insertion of a gene of interest inside the plant or the animal with the help of any plasmid or some other vector. Once the DNA, which is foreign, or once the foreign gene is inserted into the vector plasmid or the DNA of the individual, then we can see the changes of our own interest. As you can see this entire structure, this is a phenomena by which we can silence the effect of a gene. The double-stranded RNA is present, which is long, and it is clipped with the help of diacer, which is an endoribonuclease. Diacer cuts the long double-stranded RNA into short interfering RNAs, and these short interfering RNAs they combine together with certain proteins in order to form the RISC complex, which is RNA-induced silencing complex. As soon as the RISC complex binds with the proteins, or I should say the small siRNA binds with the proteins and forms the RISC assembly. During that time, the red diacer, you can see two strands are there for RNA. One is the red one, another one is the blue one. The red strand is removed and only the 5' end of the less stable RNA is attached with the RISC complex. As soon as this single-stranded siRNA is in contact with the risk factor or risk complex, it keeps on looking at different mRNAs, and whenever it finds the complementary mRNA, it binds to it. And as soon as the binding of the complementary mRNA to this antisense strand takes place, it induces the cell in which it is present to recognize this mRNA as a foreign mRNA or abnormal mRNA, and it cleaves the entire mRNA. Now, after the cleavage of the entire mRNA, we can see the completely degenerated or degraded mRNA present. This mRNA is no more capable of synthesis of any protein, or there will be no translation taking place now as the mRNA is completely degraded. This process is known as gene silencing. There is one more technique by which we can knock down the gene effect, and it is done by miRNA. It is little different from the siRNA. Just the structural difference will be as such that at the target or as soon as this risk activation complex is formed at this site, we see that there will be just this big mRNA formed, and the mRNA will get attached, will have itself, the mRNA will itself have complementary pairing, and that's why they will duplicate itself. It will be capable of duplication in forming a hairpin like structure. Again, the activity of translation will not be taking place in this kind of structure, and hence we can expect that the gene will not be functional because the protein is not formed anymore, so translation will be stopped. So by two ways, one is by degradation of the mRNA, and second one is by formation of loop, hairpin loop structure. The gene silencing can take place, and as soon as the gene is silenced, we cannot expect translation to occur, so no protein formation will be there, and hence no expression of the trait can be seen in the organism. Now we have to use the same technique in order to control the pest, and here it is the RNA interference technique. It is a kind of technique by which we silence the gene or knock down the effect of the gene by using complementary RNA. Whenever the complementary RNA will find the mRNA, it will go and bind to it, and as a result, the gene will no longer be capable of translation, and there will be no formation of new strand. For the pest control, we should keep in mind two things. The first is the feeding habit of the target insect, and second thing is the kind of transformation which we want to intend, or which we are intending to incorporate into the transgenic plant. If we can keep these two things in mind, we can very easily make the transgenic organism. One more thing is there, that is the delivery system. That are we going to use the agrobacterium tumefacens, are we going to use some vector, are we going to use the gene gun method, or some other technique for manipulation of the gene, or manipulation of the DNA of the transgenic organism. For chewing insects, like double-stranded RNA can be taken up directly from the leaves after double-stranded RNA has been delivered through the foliar spray. So just the spraying of the inoculant is done on the leaves and on the normal plant like a chemical spray, and this kind of technique is still on the verge of getting developed, and soon it will be developed. We will be able to use this um, for producing the change in any plant. But when we are using this spraying method, we have to keep in mind that this will only affect the plant pest who are surviving over the leaf, not the plant who are sucking over the cell sap. For those insects which suck on the cell sap, it is important that we introduce the gene of our interest inside the plant. And for introduction of the gene inside the plant, we need various methods like, or delivery methods like water. Like the roots of the plants, they will take water, and along with water, if we can introduce the gene of interest, then that can be a very good technique. Other than that, we can use agrobacterium or certain other methods for introduction of the same gene of interest. As soon as the double stranded RNA is taken up by the plant and the pest, it feeds on the phloem sap, then we can see that the microvilli of the columnar cell of the columnar cells in the pest midgut, they start behaving abnormally, and as a result, the pest, it suffers death, because it is not at all getting the kind of gene it was, or kind of protein it was looking for. So you can see this Melodygain incognitia, and it is a nematode which is trying to enter the roots of tobacco plant. These are the roots of tobacco plant, and it has tried to enter it and invade it. Now, how do the scientists make a genetically modified crop in order to fight against this infection? They use the complementary RNA that degrades the mRNA of nematode responsible for infection in the roots of tobacco plant. So gene knockdown effect will be experienced. Biocontrol of Melodygain incognitia by metaregium and its protease is done. Hence, the specific mRNA which is essential for the nematode is now no longer present in the transgenic plant, and hence the interfering RNA formation is not there. So hence we can expect that the nematode will no longer be surviving. We have transgenic tomatoes available in the market. Normally we are aware that the tomatoes, they ripe very fast. That is the way we used to know, or we have an idea about for the organic tomatoes. Tomatoes. Now, the flavor saver is the kind of tomato which is formed by the scientists by usage of technique known as miRNA technology, where the antisense RNA is used to regulate the expression of the enzyme polygalacturonase. The importance of this enzyme is there because it helps in ripening of the tomato fruit. But when we silence this gene, or the gene which expresses the PG, then we can expect that the fruit is no longer going to get ripen very fast, and as a result we get the tomatoes of our interest which can survive for a longer period of time. And these tomatoes are commonly known as flavor saver. They were the first transgenic fruit which were used by the beings. So I hope you could understand these all topics, and they all were dependent on the gene knockdown effect. There will be presence of an antisense gene, and the sense gene will be destroyed, because of which the complementary pairing will take place between two strands of mRNA, and they will no longer be functional to form the protein. Since the protein is not formed, so we can expect that there will be no expression of the trait and no translation occurring.